Incompetence Pod.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Join us as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We'll have 2 weeks to do our best, and in the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm Mike Collins.
Hello. I'm Dan Collins, the wheat treater.
And I'm Travis Brabin, the planet pusher, postal pile driver, and the bearer of the incompetent cup of iridescent splendor. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I will.
Take it away.
Here I go. Okay,
All
so, I don't know about you guys. Well, I know kind of about Dan and myself because we come of the same stock. But
That's 2/3 of us.
yes, that is correct.
So most of us, yes.
Most of us here right now are just like me. And that's how I try to live my life.
1/3 of us are you.
This is fun.
Moving right along. So I have a tendency to not sleep at night like a normal human being. I try to kind of live in the wee hours, not unlike a vampire or a bat or a raccoon.
Yeah.
But I have come to learn that this is not a healthy way to live your life. So my challenge is for us to get 8 hours of sleep to the best of our abilities, or at least be in bed for 8 hours of nighttime every night for 2 weeks. Yes. There are many.
Yes.
There are many advantages to this. Apparently, it lowers certain chemicals in your system that apparently are bad. I don't know what those are. Listen to a better podcast for that.
I think it's cortisol, stress hormone, things like that. It reduces the bad things and increases the good things.
Thank you, doctor. And so anyway, I think this would be good for me, and I'd like to drag you guys along with me on this adventure. So I know Dan is kind of the same way, if I'm not mistaken.
I like to stay up late.
Yes.
Left to my own devices, I usually have a consistent sleep schedule, but it's usually only about like 6.5 hours. I've found value in getting up at like 5 a.m. to do like work on our game or whatever. But right now, Eve is just over a year old, and her sleep schedule is stay up till midnight, and then she gets to sleep until like 9 in the morning. So that's great for her. Some of us have to get up in the morning, though. This challenge would be really hard for me. Other than I guess I could like leave Holly and Eve up, and I could just go to bed. It feels weird, but
sorry, Holly. He's gonna do a podcast.
I don't want to do this one specifically because tonight I really wanted to play more Hogwarts Legacy, and that would require me to not get very much sleep tonight.
8 hours is such a long time. Like I don't disagree that like there's probably numerous health benefits, but
nobody has that kind of time.
There's so much time spent just sleeping.
Well, see, that's just it, you guys. I think like some people get that amount of sleep or more every night, and then they live to be 110 years old.
Well, those people do not have kids.
What if I get like 6 hours of sleep every weeknight and then just like sleep for like 20 hours on like Saturday?
Left to my own devices, I like do not sleep. Like if I get a weekend where like Lindsay leaves and takes the kids and goes like to her folks or whatever, and I'm here by myself, I don't go to bed. I stay up until the sun comes up, and then I'll crash at some point and wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and do the whole thing over again. But now I'll stay up even later.
We are related because I do that exact thing. Especially like if I take some time off work, I don't go to sleep. My bedtime alarm is the sun coming up, and I'm like, ah,
You're like, oh,
I better go to bed, otherwise I won't be able to, like, I don't know, society,
you know, need to be a functioning member of society. Yes.
Yeah.
But well, we could say, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be 8 hours. Like I generally get like 5 hours of sleep, maybe around there, and that's going to bed at midnight and waking up at around 5:30, something like that. So or 6. Man, today I slept in, but yeah, so that we could say like 7 hours or 6 hours, like that, something like that. A somewhat healthy amount of sleep, which is not the norm.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
we'll see.
all right. That's one.
Okay.
Do you want to go down or do you want me to?
Sure. So I was thinking, um, just something kind of simple here. Just a self-improve. I think this is self-improvement type of thing because it's like literally developing your own skills. And I think we should try to develop new talents,
Okay.
or
Okay.
like one talent or multiple different talents, and we can compare who has the best talents that they've developed over 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
I think leaving it the more open the better.
okay.
So
Okay.
that's it pretty
What
much,
would this have to be a new talent or
Yeah.
okay. So something
No, no
from the
improve
ground
nothing
up.
that yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like that. There's like the thing is like there's always a million things that I would like to get better at. So having a good reason to actually pursue one of those things sounds pretty
Yeah.
good.
And I mean,
Mhm.
like the type of thing I'm thinking that like come to my mind is like tie a cherry thing with your tongue, or like do a wheelie on a bike, just little things, or like something bigger, like learn an instrument, like the basics of an instrument or something like that. So,
Okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was given an ocarina for Christmas,
ooh,
and I've tutored it, but I don't know how to play it really. So that's like literally a foot away from me.
yeah. So that's mine.
All
Pretty
right.
Yeah,
simple, but I think it
that's
would
fun. I like that.
be fun to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Mine is not simple. Mine is nebulous and complicated and weird.
Okay.
Go on.
So
You have
brace
my interest.
yourselves. Similar to the Future Corpse episode in style, sort of. I think that rather than dwelling on the ending of our lives, we should focus on the destination we're trying to reach while we're alive. People always say to follow your bliss, but before you can do that, you need to define what your bliss looks like.
Mm.
If you don't know where you're trying to go, how will you know when you get there? I didn't get that out of a fortune cookie, but you easily could.
Well,
So like are you talking like to make our end goal
Yes,
and
so
just
it's pretty nebulous criteria for who's going to win, but I think essentially we should very clearly define the goals we have for our lives, professionally, personally, socially, any of that stuff.
bucket
And then
list.
yeah, well not a bucket list. A I mean I guess kind of a bucket list, but more so what kind of made me think about this was I was thinking about Nad Snillock, Dan.
Yeah.
And he was the anti Dan, or he was the person you
Yeah.
didn't want to be. But
Yeah.
let's imagine the person you do want to be. Think about the person who is living the exact life, the ideal life for you, and then think about what he did today, and how does that different from what you're currently doing, and how can you get yourself from here to there?
Okay.
it's
Kind of a
interesting.
more positive spin on the thinking of your death.
I think so. But it's
thing.
not, yeah, not. I mean, we are all aware that we're going to die. We've covered that ground.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, a little bit more positive, a little bit more task oriented to
Sure.
think about where you want to end up, and then I think the way to win this challenge would be whoever has kind of the most concrete or tangible steps that they can follow in order to reach their destination.
Okay.
All
I
right.
like that. It's quite nebulous.
How would we determine who wins that one?
Arguing mostly.
Like who has the best goals?
Well, I think it's who has the. I mean, best goals. That's impossible to compare,
Subject.
but
It's
it'd be steps
subjective.
towards achieving those goals. Or if anybody has any mind blowing revelations or whatever, we can hash it out.
Okay.
You kind of creating like a what's that thing when people get really into The Secret? They create like a dream
Yeah, the
Yeah,
poster,
dream
dream,
poster.
yeah, whatever that's called. Yeah, that thing. So basically, do that, but your whole life and more concrete than just a poster with pictures of successful people giving
Are you
thumbs up.
talking like make like a step-by-step plan on how we're going to accomplish this?
I mean that's what it looks like for me, but I think that's partially because that's just how my brain works. But I guess I think we should create our or envision our idealized life. Think about, where do you want to live in the house you're currently in? Do you want to be somewhere else? Do you want to have the job you currently do? How do you want to fill your time? What do you want your relationships with friends and family to look like? What things do you want to have accomplished by the time you're ready to retire or whatever? Do you even want to retire? Do you want to retire early? These sorts of questions.
Hmm. I mean, I
Okay.
think that's very much so worth doing, just generally speaking, and it's something that I think a lot of people don't think of. They just think, I think a lot of people when they think of success, they're just like, well, if I get a job that pays good, then everything else will kind of work itself out, which I think is a way to kind of not be satisfied in life,
Hmm.
Yeah.
personally.
I
So
think I think many people who start, I mean, lots of people start with that and then they achieve that and then they're sort of like, what now? I did the thing and I'm not satisfied. What am I supposed to do?
yeah, hmm. That's a good one, Travis. All right, we got to pick one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and bow out of it because it sounds like Travis. It wouldn't be fair because he has to uh, keep a baby entertained until the wee hours. So
I need to let her baby punch me in the face until
that
she
is what
falls
they
asleep.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'd say let's wait. I think there's definite value in a sleep challenge. Let's just wait like 6 months until she's sort of.
We'll wait until Eve says it's okay, and then we'll do that one.
What would be fun to do is like we did with the push-up one, just cumulative hours of sleep.
That's
Who
kind of what I was
sleep
thinking
who can
about.
sleep the most?
The problem with that is that too much sleep is not better than the right amount of sleep.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I also think, like, for me personally, if I take a nap, that actually makes me more tired for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm better just like stretching myself thin, burning the candle at both ends that it is. That's how I stay productive. And that's the lie I will continue to tell myself. So
If you're gonna bow out, Mike, then I think should we just let you pick?
no.
You guys always make me pick. You get to pick.
Well, okay, present your cases.
I think mine would be fun and less. Well, I don't know if it would be less work. It would be less mentally straining.
I think that mental strain is good,
It
and I
is
think
good.
I think that we've been doing some kind of superficial, some light challenges. I think we're due for a heavy one.
Man, I think I'm leaning Travis right now. Pull me back, Dan. Can you?
Can you do a wheelie on your bike?
I have done it once or twice. I got a weird bike. It's hard to do wheelies on my bike, to be honest.
Do you
Will
have
you buy me a new bike if I pick your challenge?
yes.
Okay.
Lies.
Can you solve a Rubik's cube?
I can, yes.
Oh.
If we
I don't
if we
know.
go with my challenge, Mike, then you'll realize that you don't want a bike. What you really want is something else.
You're right. jet ski.
There you go.
Okay. I think Travis is right, and we're due for a heavy one. I think we should come back and revisit that one though, Dan, because I like it.
Yeah, I do
But I'm
too.
gonna.
It's actually one that I have on my list. There's an episode in Taskmaster where they try to like learn a skill in 15 minutes, and one person tries to learn how to walk a coin across their fingers, and I've always wanted to be able to do that. So
I
I
can
someday
do
watched
that.
that one. I wouldn't say she actually learns how to do it. I
she
say
attempts to learn. Yeah.
she attempts to learn and does not. Okay. Yep. I'm picking Travis's.
Okay.
So let's pick a well. Okay. So we kind of have a metric. I think it's more. But maybe the metric should be we'll kind of judge it on a few different things, but like one of them should be the most concrete plans. It's got to be like, an achievable concrete. What's the thing for goals? It has to, was it
Measurable, achievable.
yeah,
Maybe that's just it.
measurable? Yeah, it's
Doable.
smart, I think is what it is. It's like
Simple,
something
measurable,
yeah,
achievable, relatable, trackable. I don't know. Those are all just buzzwords.
A lot of
yeah,
ables. A lot of ables.
yeah. Sounds good. Well, that can be part of your thing to figure out that acronym. Uh
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Ah, good job.
So we're looking for, okay, we need to get this clear. So just not exactly a bucket list, but it kind of is a bucket list.
Well, it's more like where do you want to be in 5 years kind of thing, and then where do you want to be in 10 years?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be in 50
And
years?
then how are you going to get there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In its simplest form, I think as a thought exercise, it's defining what you want your typical day to look like. How do you want to spend your time?
yeah.
Okay.
And then what are you gonna do to make it so that's what you actually do?
Right.
Interesting.
Okay, I think that's good enough as for a metric, right? And we just see who has the most concrete plans, right?
Concrete and like, yeah, and all those
Realistic,
those
maybe.
those able things that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Specific,
Yes.
measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Time bound is obviously harder to really hammer down, but I think that in the lingo of 10 to 15 years ago, we are basically defining a 5-year plan, like you said, Mike.
Yeah.
So if
There you
that
go.
helps, I don't know.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
So
I
I
think that's
bought a
good.
lottery ticket today, so if I win the lottery, I mean, I'm pretty much set. Would I just win this challenge then?
If you win
Well,
the lottery, Dan, can you give me a bunch of money too?
I would say you don't win automatically. You would still have to define how you plan to use that money.
Actually, a lot of people that win the lottery go into debt in a few years.
Yeah, because they don't know how to use their money because they buy lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a bold stance to take, Travis.
I
Uh,
think a statistically accurate one.
yeah, no, that's probably true.
All right, let's define a honorific, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hold on.
Here were some of the ones that came to me in the vein of the ones we've done recently, I guess. There's Wayfinder, the word seeker came, we can mix that in somewhere. Bliss breaker was fun. Trailblazer,
I like the seeker. Seeker it speaks to me. Like seeker of the path. Ooh. Yeah.
Pathfinder.
Well, he said that.
I said
Path.
Wayfinder. Pathfinder's good too.
Pathfinder is good. The path. The path. What's the?
Finder.
I was gonna say like path discoverer, but better word than that. The path
Finder would be.
revealer.
I think. I mean, Finder is pretty good.
Finder is. It's. I don't know. It's quite pedestrian in my opinion. I
That's
feel
fair.
like we can do better.
How about like the all-seeing one,
Nah.
the seer, like
If I say
SEER, seer,
is C.
seer.
I feel like that's not right. It's more like you're making the path. The well, you said trailblazer.
Yep. What about satisfaction seeker, or something
you,
about like the thing that we're looking for or it's seeking to attain?
what about a portmanteau of that? The Satisfinder.
I kind of like that.
I like that a lot.
Sat-
Satisfinder.
the Satisfinder.
I just worry that
not-
we're not giving the people enough terrible options.
I think we're just getting better at it. We keep
No,
saying that, but
I feel like that might be a problem. Can we make it worse in a better way?
Satisfinder's quite good.
that
I
is
might
really
be
good.
too good. That's what I'm worried about, Travis.
Let's shelve that one and then inevitably come back to it after we've cycled through like Little Seeky Boy and
Little Seeky Boy.
we haven't done any Spartacus riffing.
It's the mandatory Sparta
These-
finder. The Seekicus.
I think it's the portmanteaus. I think that those are because the wheat treater.
I think Satisfinder's better than We Treat Her, I think.
I don't
But
know. Wheat treater's
maybe
pretty
this
good.
season we lean into the portmanteaus. I don't know. We
Maybe-
could try to go like we for a while we were aiming for like a reality smasher or whatever. We were trying to do very dramatic ones.
That's true. I feel like that's maybe not what we bring to the table.
How about something with destiny?
Ooh,
That's good.
Yeah, Destiny.
Destiny Definer.
Destiny Destroyer.
The Seer of Destiny. That's kind of a bit redundant, isn't it? A Satisfinder is real good, isn't it? That's real good. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a problem because it is really good. I'm just happy with it.
Maybe
Why don't
what
we
we
just-
need to do is like I should write them down and like as we kind of work through it, the little Seeky boy, the
I like the little Seeky boy too. I'll be honest.
Can we make it Lil like
Well,
apostrophe L
I like it
L
because the other one was just like push up, like the planet pusher, like
Lil
the
Lil
postal
Seeky
pile
boy.
driver just sending letters. But this is like kind of a heavy one, and it's just little Seeky boy.
There's no way we're gonna depart from Satisfinder for Lil Seeky Boy.
Little Seeky boy, just a little guy.
I'm trying to think of something that we can just drag it down even
I don't
deeper.
know. I want to be a little Seeky boy. I honestly think that would be. I want to be the little Seeky boy.
I like the name that I threw out as a joke as a bad name is where you want to go.
Well, you got to be careful.
True.
It's out there. It's in the ether
wait,
now.
hold on. What if we kind of, like that one, this like little boy blue go boy horn, that little poem. What about it's little boy Seeky,
No,
something like
it.
that. Seeky.
Now I can't think of anything.
Is that do we reached that point where we just go back to the one good one that we said 15 minutes ago?
I mean, I will
Satisfying.
say the thing with
it's-
portmanteaus is it doesn't make it immediately clear. I know we were talking to Kelvin, friend of the show, while we were doing our polar plunge, and he mentioned that when he saw We Treat Her, he knew what it was about. So that's something that's good. But I do sometimes wonder if, like, Satisfinder, I mean, I guess people can figure it out. It's clear enough.
It's like a mystery. It's like an exciting mystery. They have to listen to the episode to figure out
it's
what
like
it means.
little Seeky boys on a mystery, trying to solve a mystery, kind of like the Scooby Doo gang, little Seeky boy and the Satisfinder.
Yeah,
That sounds like the
find
weirdest
I'll have to
superhero
find their-
duo.
have to
Little
find their
Seeky.
destinies.
we already have Scooby Don't though.
That's true.
Which that one is great.
Now I'm disappointed to go back to a good one. I want a bad one. That's what I
They're all
want.
good, Mike. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Satisfinder? Is it Satisfinder? It's
I was
Satisfinder.
thinking of well,
Lay it on me, Dan.
I For some reason, I have the verb chew, like the future chewer
Ooh.
or something like that. I can't. Is
Oh wait,
there?
how about like the masticator of destiny?
Oh, yeah,
Masticate means to chew on.
yeah, I know, but you know,
How about just the masticator? I bet that would
Little
get some more downloads.
little Seeky boy is looking better and better.
little Seeky boy, the masticator. All right, now we're going down the. Now we're probably going down the wrong
Yep.
path.
Yep. Throw that in reverse.
When we say little Seeky boy, it sounds silly, but I'm also imagining, like the little prince. He's floating on his planets, going through the stars. That's how I picture little Seeky boy. Just kind of floating around space,
Floating in space, seeking his destiny,
seeking his, yeah,
trying to figure it all out.
trying to, yeah. And it's kind of beautiful.
It is when you put it that way, Dan.
You got to create an image in your mind about this type of thing.
If I
Little Seeky boy going through the cosmos, just a blip in the great expanse.
What if we made like the honorific, like a little limerick about the little Seeky boy?
What if we just started doing a little limerick about whatever our honorific is every time, and that's how we opened every episode.
That's not a bad idea. That's
There
like
there
the
once was
stinger
a
that people open their episodes with.
yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't have a good
So
limerick off the top of my
so
head, but
so Satisfinder then.
I don't know. Now I'm getting like disappointed with it. I don't know.
That's where I'm at too.
the problem is that like it's just plain good.
Yeah, just boring old good.
Yeah. All right. All right.
It
Let's
has
stop.
my vote over Lil Seeky Boy though.
Yeah. All right. Let's stop fighting it and just let the inevitable
We can
Satisfinder.
put little Seeky boy in parentheses.
Whoever wins, if they choose, can add Lil Seeky Boy.
All right.
Okay.
I accept that as the condition. If you win, you can also call yourself Little Seeky Boy. So it could be like Mike the Satisfinder Collins, aka Little Seeky Boy.
Yeah, dealer's choice.
So I have no forecast for this one. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, it's pretty even playing field, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Travis is probably gonna do good on this because he tends to. I feel like Travis puts a lot of thought into these challenges,
It's kind of
and
the point of this podcast.
yeah,
I do put a lot of thought into things generally, so I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. I would encourage you guys to, you know, dethrone me.
Also put effort in there. I really feel like we can't let Travis win another one.
yeah. His thing is getting too long, and it's embarrassing.
All right. Well, that's it. Me and you, Dan, we're gonna gang up. Except
Yeah.
not really, because I'm also gonna beat you against Travis. So we have our challenge. We have our honorific. We have our metric. Let's do this.
Hello, it's me, Dan. Thank you for listening. You're all wonderful. Make sure to tell a friend about the show if you're having a good time. I know we are. As me, Mike, and Travis think about the future and consider what's important to us in life and everything, why don't we all just take a second and think about the future of this podcast and what the second half is going to bring, and what are our goals while we're listening to this part, and what can we do to make it better? Maybe make a cup of tea, maybe pull over and just watch the sunset, and just, think about different things that make this listening experience a little bit better. All right, now that we're all calm and cozied up with a loved one or a loved pet, let's just let's keep this train going. All right.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then we've been trying to plan our ideal lives. Let's start by going over our approach to this challenge. How did you guys tackle this?
I sat around and thought about it for a week and a half. 'Cause I honestly couldn't think exactly what I wanted to do, and I think a lot of the things that I want to accomplish in my life, I didn't want to say out loud to other people.
It
And
is very personal.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what I struggled with the most. But I did find things, and I think I went and I just sort of picked some overall arching goals.
Sure.
Sure.
That basically, if I accomplish these goals, would encompass the things that I want to accomplish in my life. So that's kind of what I started. I started from the top, and then I worked down on how to achieve those goals.
That's very similar to my approach. When I started this, I more or less just kind of was not paying attention at work and daydreaming about what I'd rather be doing, which I think is pretty effective. Yeah, but like I noticed that after a little bit of research, there's a lot of information out there because a lot of people think they know how you should plan your life.
Well, turns out there's a lot of people that feel like lost also, feel like that
Yeah,
they're unguided or, whatever, without purpose.
I
That's a
think
pretty
that's what.
common thing.
Isn't that
Yeah,
ennui? Isn't that called ennui? A sense of
Oh, yeah.
right?
is it? I don't
I don't
know.
know. I think
I
so.
think so.
I've heard that phrase. I've heard that term before. I guess I don't know. Is that
No,
French?
I have, like, when I
Probably.
imagine how to spell that, like, Enya comes to mind. How do you spell ennui?
Uh, there's probably a Q in there or something.
Yes.
But
Okay, hold on,
Well,
I got it. The spelling. This I feel dumb now because I've seen this word and didn't realize, didn't make the connection. Ennui, Ennui, a feeling of utter weariness and discontent resulting from satiety or lack of interest, boredom.
yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. All right, I'll get that. I think that's maybe not.
That's less of a. We're thinking boredom ennui on a grand scale. Grand ennui.
Yeah, it's
Cosmic
like
ennui.
Cosmic
you're.
ennui.
Uh, yeah. I had a thought and it's totally gone now.
Sorry.
But I wanted you guys to know that you made me lose my track of what I was thinking.
You're welcome.
Yes. I was gonna say my approach. So yeah, so I kind of did the same thing where I just kind of sat and thought about it. I got Lindsay on board. We talked about it a little bit. She's quite busy as well and tired from raising our little monsters. So it was hard to find time to sit down and talk together about it. But we found a little bit, and which was good. Kind of went over some of our our main goals. And kind of got aligned, which I think that is very beneficial, especially if you live with somebody or you have a wife, spouse, life partner, dog, whatever. You should discuss your goals together and make sure they're aligned and that you guys are headed in the same direction. And I think that's very beneficial. So, yeah, that's a thing. And then today, Travis recommended this book that he had started listening to called "Designing Your Life," I believe is the title.
Yep.
Anyway, so he hadn't finished it. I listened to the entire thing while I was at work. So, and
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had got to that one maybe day one because I could have implemented some things, I think.
Yeah, so I was driving home from drill yesterday, heard the book referenced on a different podcast. I was like, "Oh, that sounds good. I'll listen to that." So I downloaded it, listened to like the first chapter, mentioned it to Mike, and then I'm now on the second chapter, and he finished the book today. So very quickly surpassed me, but it is a good book. I highly recommend Designing Your Life. We should probably know who wrote it. That would
uh,
have been a thing to prepare.
one of the guys' name is Dave.
It's Bill Burnett and Dave Evans.
There you go,
Uh,
Dave.
Highly recommend. Very basically, I took a note here that this book is sort of like The Secret, but for practical people, and that it essentially boils down to just like kind of thinking about what you want and then making it happen. But this book is more tangible, more practical way of going about it. And The Secret is just like think about what you want and it will happen
Yeah.
magically.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so after listening to the entire thing, there's a lot of really good takeaways and uh but yeah, I anyway, listen to it. It's great. So, is there what are some things that you guys noticed?
I I mean, my approach was the same. Basically, I'll mention that too. One thing that I noticed was that this challenge is a little bit frustrating in that you start to, when you spend this time thinking about what your ideal life looks like or where you'd rather be or what problems you'd like to solve. I don't know about you guys, but I started to like get frustrated at the like, man, there's so much that I have that I can be doing better, or there's so much progress that I could be making. And it's like quite hard to make progress on many of these things. It's well and good to identify things that can be improved, but like it started to nag at me a little bit that like there's many things that I can be doing and I'm not doing them. There's not a lot you can do for these things in the short term, so I found that a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
I think that's true, but at the same time, I think it really like going through this exercise is a really good way to start like put a fire under your butt, for that exact purpose. It's like
Mhm.
kind of think through like, am I happy where I am? Like, am I doing what I want to be doing? Uh, one of the things the guys mentioned in that book actually is the your life you whatever track that you're on, whatever your kind of current situation is, you can always change it, like, and you should always kind of be reassessing, like, is this what I want to do? Should I change something? Can I change something? Should I do something totally different? And that's something that I think is worth contemplating just for humanity, because I think there's a fallacy that kind of exists, especially in the US, where like, you get a job, get a house, get married, have some kids, and then at some point you die, and good job. Because so, but like, is that really what is the way to be happy? To get the things that you want, or like have the life that you want. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that are living the dream, as it were, and they're just not happy doing it. They got a good job that's stable, and there's no reason to change it, but they're not happy doing it. And I
Yeah.
think that's worth reassessing, and you can always change. If anybody out there that's feeling that right now, is like, you can always change.
You can always change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed, I had all of those same thoughts, and it was kinda bringing me pretty down. I was this challenge made me really, uh, kind of assess my life and be like, "Oh, man, I kinda feel feel bad." It made me feel very bad. Um, I'm doing good, but it was just like, yeah, um, I didn't feel good these last 2 weeks, I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry,
Like,
Dan.
when
Well, you
you
did say that you ate 5 pounds of Taco Bell, so
I
that
did
probably didn't help.
I did do that. I think that might have been the low point of my 2 weeks. But, yeah, no, I mean, when you think about assessing your life and all that sort of stuff, it can make you think about stuff and not feel great about everything that's going on.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say that you have cause for optimism, I would say, Dan, because having done this reflection, I think puts you in a better spot to move in the right direction. That's kind of the whole point here,
Yeah.
is that this is a repeating process, and that one of the things I mentioned in that book is that you are you're never done really, and that should fill you with hope. Like Mike mentioned, you can always change, but that also means that even if you are in a place that you are sort of happy with, you can always be recalculating, readjusting, and like trying to move to a better place.
In fact,
It's like a readjustment thing. Go ahead,
I would
Mike.
say that I was just gonna add that I think you should be doing that. It's not just
Hmm.
that you can. It's like if you want to be, fully actualized and content with where you are, you need to be assessing like, is this really what I want to be doing? Because that's a question I think needs to get asked more. Like, is this where I want to be? Getting nagged at by my boss to do the TPS reports.
Yeah.
um,
Mike, you and I have talked a little bit about this too, and that there's another fallacy that people who like the hustle culture and people that are like out there trying to build an application, or people that imagine that there's one goal in their life that if they achieve that goal, if they get that promotion, or if they whatever it is, if they do that, then they'll be happy. That's just not true. Like there is every time that people achieve those things, they almost immediately afterwards like, oh, I need to do something else, or like the fulfillment
yeah.
that they thought they would achieve from that never comes through. So you're much better off, like we're talking about, designing a system or doing a more well-rounded thing, because single achievements will not provide you the fulfillment or satisfaction that people think they will.
Yeah, I think, there's this whole there's always that the grass is greener on the other side, the whole you got to push, and then when I finally get this done, then it'll all work out.
Hmm.
I think everybody is the victim of this. I think of like through my personal experience in the Marine Corps and stuff like that, cuz I enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps, but it's also just the worst. you know and it's like every time that you get through another goal, it's like, oh, when I get back from Afghanistan, then it'll be good. And then you get back from Afghanistan, and like, all right, when I get out of the Marines, then it'll be good. And then it's, when I get done with college, then it'll be good. But
Yeah,
it's like there's a way to be happy where you are, and still work towards whatever goal, your goals are that you want. But you can't depend on that one thing to be the crux of your satisfaction in life. I think goals are good and completing goals are good, but that can't be the end game.
that is like, it's funny. What we're talking about is essentially the crux of the poem that I wrote in our Poetic Soul thing.
Yeah.
All
And that,
coming
like,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
life up to this point has just been join the military, that'll, honor service to country, that'll fulfill you. And like, nope, that didn't quite do it. Go to college, learn a bunch of stuff, that'll do it. And like, well, no, you got to actually do some work, get a job, do that, have wife, kids, all that stuff. It all circles like you really need a system, and you never are there, and you don't have to do anything anymore. It's just a constant movement towards satisfaction, I guess, which
Yeah.
sounds bleak, but there, I think that it's meant to be hopeful, and that, as
I
long as
think
you're
so.
maintaining a focus on the important things in life, you can be happy and also always improving.
Well, that's where this whole like thing comes. The whole point of this challenge is to figure out what's important to you, and make sure that that's actually where you're putting your energy.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
once heard a parable about
Mm-hmm.
a rich businessman talking to a poor fisherman, and he said, "You're so lazy. You're just laying around all day, hanging out with your friends. Why don't you get out there? And you can try to, you know, you can make more money, buy more boats, and all this stuff, and then you can save up, and then you can retire, so that you can sit around and hang out with your friends all day."
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the life you want to, if you sitting on the beach all day, there's enjoyment there. If you have screaming kids that need to be fed, that doesn't work out as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There are some other facets to that. What are some challenges that you guys have found or we have found during this?
I mean, I think we talked a little bit about it in the challenge that this can be sort of a bummer, this whole thing.
Yeah.
I see. I agree. I think it's, a cold slap of reality is always good for you, though. You know,
Hmm.
it's kind of, if you are kind of delusional and you're like, I'll just keep working for maybe another 30 years, then I'll be happy. You know what I mean? It's like it's okay to say like I'm not happy right now, and there's no reason I need to sit around and wait for myself to become happy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's not I'm not happy right now. It's I could be happier. There are
Yeah.
things in my life that I wish were a little bit different, and I can work towards those things. So, I mean, hopefully it's not I'm not happy. That's unfortunate.
Well, like for me, I think something I've discovered in my life is I really enjoy working towards goals and
Hmm.
finding new things. Like if I'm not working towards something, then that's like not having anything to do is the worst thing in the world. Like I
Right.
like we have like I have a lot of projects. I have to be always doing something, building something, creating stuff, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have to have a goal. I've discovered that's kind of what makes me happy.
I agree. I'm the same way. Like I need to have projects. If I'm if I don't have something that I'm currently like feel bad for not working on, then I feel, I guess, listless,
Yes.
floating in the void.
Hmm.
so, so I need to be. I gotta be hustling, but to a certain to a certain point, you have to. You gotta to chill out as well, because then if you're that person that's got like go go go, then nobody wants to be around you.
To
So
to quote an amazing author, Brandon Sanderson, journey before destination.
mm-hmm.
You should always be heading somewhere but you should enjoy the journey, not just focus on the destination.
There's some
But
solid like philosophy in those books.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to your question about challenges, another thing that I noticed, and this is sort of along the lines that you're mentioning, Dan, one of, I think, the perils of modern work, or at least the work that I do, like, communication via email and spreadsheets and all that stuff, is that we have essentially become disconnected from being able to like see and appreciate the product of our work. And that like people used to just like, I made a chair today and now you can sit on it and it's great. But like when I was like, I sent off a really cool email this morning, or like I took some really good meeting minutes. Like these things are not tangible and they don't kind of tickle the same receptors in your brain, and that they don't give you that satisfaction. So with so many people these days working in offices, I think that part of the challenge in seeking satisfaction and fulfillment is that we spend 8 hours a day in offices and whatever doing work that doesn't give you that immediate tangible response. So I think that there is a challenge there when trying to find a way to live a satisfying life,
Yeah.
almost no matter what company you work for. It's being divorced from the tangible product of your work is kind of hard. One I guess one fact I learned in my research. Most of the stuff that I did was kind of just like listening to other podcasts, because this is, like we said, a thing that many people have talked a lot about. But one important thing that they like research has proven that um, they surveyed a bunch of wealthy people, and they found that the wealthy people who spent their money on redeeming time, basically like saving themselves time, ended up being happier and more satisfied than people that just accumulated more money. So
Hmm.
the idea is that they call it like time affluence, and that when you have like the ability to reclaim like basically when you decide how you spend your time and what you spend it on, you're happier than if you are making more money but doing what somebody else wants you to do.
Yeah. That's
So
that one hits home, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, that ended up being an important part of kind of my ideal goal is having more power over how I spend my time and a little bit more input in, the things that I work on. So
Yeah.
that's the goal. I don't necessarily have tangible steps towards achieving that at this point, but yeah, that definitely hit home for me too.
Okay. We've come to that point. How did you guys meet the challenge? I can go first, I guess.
All right,
I will go first.
Go
go first.
go. Do it.
Okay. Uh, you coward. Uh, as we said before, I sort of started like with the overarching goals and kind of thought through like what are the things that are important to me, that I want out of life, and I was thinking, I want to have a good relationship with my family, the whole family, wife and kids, and so that's kind of the number one goal. Next goal is to complete my personal passion projects, right? Um, and then I have a couple other ones. Oh, well, actually, next would be personal health. I've been very unhealthy for several years, and since we started a podcast, I've become more healthy, which has been awesome. But I want to actually become a fit person again. And then we just got a couple other things, like we want to save up to for a big down payment on a newer, bigger house, and save up some more money for the kids' college and stuff like that. So the way that I achieve those goals, is a lot of that, like the health and spending time with family, keeping good relationship with my family. It just comes down to I need more time.
Hmm.
I spend 8.5 hours at least at work every day, and then I have a 45-minute commute both ways, so that sucks up a lot of time. So the way that I solve this is I got a new job. So
Yay.
yeah, I start in like 2 weeks, and it's a fully remote position.
Wait, I think this is the
So
first time you told me that you got it for sure.
yeah, no, I got the job, and
Hey.
it was within these 2 weeks, so I'm counting it.
Heck
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
you should definitely count that.
so like the main thing, I got a few things set up that I'm planning on doing with this new job, since it's going to be a fully remote position. So I'll be at home with my family so that they can get sick of me. But then also, I can take breaks without having to just like stare at a cubicle. I can, I can go and like exercise a little bit, go play a little bit of guitar and clear my head, go for a walk, and then come back and still be probably more productive than I am at my current job, because I'll have a fresh mind. So I
Hmm.
think it's going to be great all around, no commute. So for me, I think that's going to be a huge step in the right direction. Also, a little more money. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah, dude. And then so beyond that, we obviously a lot of stuff is in flux right now, because in a couple weeks, my schedule and everything will be totally different. So, but we kind of made a plan to start, how we're going to manage our money as far as saving more for certain things, and that kind of stuff. So and I started putting together a little bit of a plan for how I'm going to structure my day, because now it's going to be up to me, and which is going to be a transition, but I'm excited about it. So that's what I done, dude.
Yeah, that's in the process of Mike getting this job and applying and all that stuff. We've talked a lot about the value of remote work. It seems like the strongest argument for it is that you are reclaiming some of your time, but you're also sort of creating a degree of separation. I think that many people tie up their identity in the job that they do, and that they
Yeah,
go into the office and whatever. But like when you and start doing remote work, like you were just a person who works at a company, rather than just like I don't know. There's a weird kind of a nebulous difference between somebody that goes and works in the office and somebody that just works from home.
yeah. And
So
I think I put quite a bit of thought into this particular facet of my life, and I think the remote work is a way for me to get a lot more satisfaction out of life, just due to the proximity to the life that I care about, not the work one. So I think I think it's taken back a lot for me. And obviously that doesn't work for everybody, and some people don't want to be around their family that much. For me, that's it's going to be pretty good.
I will say that my wish list is, I mean, virtually identical to yours. Raised, healthy, smart kids who know the value of hard work, and ideally don't hate Holly and I when they're growing up. So hopefully do a good job there. I do want to do work that I find interesting or engaging. Not necessarily, I'm not somebody that the old phrase like if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm not expecting that. It's still work. I expect to have days that are not enjoyable or whatever, but I would like to shift the needle a little bit more towards the engaging side. Insurance isn't tremendously interesting every day, so I don't have any tangible steps in that direction, but spend some time thinking about what the ideal would look like and put some thought in there. Ideally, um, not feel like I'm grinding my soul to powder some days.
Yeah.
And then keep doing creatively fulfilling stuff. This podcast, the game that we're doing, kind of the leather work that we or not the leather work that I do on the side sometimes for my sister's store. Those sorts of things provide a lot of creative fulfillment and satisfaction. So continuing to do those things and hopefully doing additional ones in the future. And then, yeah, saving up money and putting us in a financial position where we can get some property. We want to have kind of a hobby farm eventually that we can raise animals and do a garden and fruit trees and stuff like that. That's kind of our end goal. So continuing to put ourselves in a position where we can eventually move to that, ideally sooner rather than later. But that is a major goal, and we are working towards that. Like we're always in a better financial position than we were the day before, but it's a slow process. So, and then yeah, just general health. I don't want to be the dad that can't play with their kids or whatever. So taking steps to try to get in better shape and then stay that way. Because like having been in the military and getting out and then getting in the military again and staying in, like I've gone through cycles, and like left to my own devices, I tend to drift back towards kind of out of shape and whatever. So trying to find some solutions that'll keep me in decent shape for the long term. So as far as tangible things, I don't really have a lot. I mean, I didn't get a new job, so I can't really compete with that. Mostly, my thing is just we just need to kind of stay the course, keep an eye on our finances, and start saving for land, and hopefully keep. I think we're raising our kids the right way now, so hopefully keep that up. Kind of the things that I was thinking about as far as how to lay the groundwork for a satisfying life is trying to. I mean, that book that we read or are reading mentions that there's like four areas of your life: health, work, play, and love. And these are just kind of like ways that you can identify how well you're performing in each of those categories. And I think that one way, or one approach to kind of maximizing the satisfaction that you get in life would be to finding activities that kind of benefit more than one of those areas. And the example that popped in my head was Mike, you playing Magic with Lindsay and Finn. Seems like that satisfies both the play and love area of the life.
Oh
And then you
yeah.
guys get to play games together, and it probably builds bonds, and you're making memories that Finn will probably remember his whole life. And presuming you guys don't get too angry at each other when you're playing. So those
It's
sorts of things
it's
seem good.
debatable.
Um, but yeah, I don't have a lot of tangible stuff to report on my stuff. I spend a lot of time thinking about stuff, but I don't have a lot to show. What do you got, Dan?
Um, well, so like I said, I kind of came up with some overarching goals, like you guys did. Be debt free, pretty simple one.
Hmm.
Not have to work in an office, like be my own boss kind of thing. I need to have time and money to enjoy my hobbies, which I've recently gotten into Warhammer 40K, which requires a lot of time and a lot of money.
That sort of counteracts the debt-free thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I another tangible one is that I would like to visit Ireland. I
Oh,
Hey,
just want to.
it's
Um,
sweet. You should go.
yeah, and I'd like to have a book published. Um, something I'm pretty close to. I was thinking I could just self-publish it. Something I'm considering.
Oh, that's cool.
The problem is all of them kind of require money. So I thought money was kind of my primary thing.
Hmm.
If you have money, basically be able to do all of these things. So I kind of came up with a plan. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Uh, so it starts out, I have to save up about $3,000. Part of this is going to go to getting face masks and fake weapons. The rest is going to go to hiring a group of about 6 gullible actors I already have a code accomplice. Her code name is Hot Dish. Hot Dish can speak Russian. I'm going to hire 6 Russian-speaking actors who have a lot of ambition, don't speak English very well.
Hey.
She's going to disguise herself in a wig and wear a face mask because she's going to pretend she's still concerned about the pandemic. We tell them that they're being hired for an ultra-real film where there are hidden cameras all over and all the other people at the bank are also actors. The U.S. Bank downtown St. Paul is the best option as it's a large city bank, so it's going to have the most money. I tell them to go in loud and try to make as much noise as possible, screaming, this is a robbery. Get us all the money. Hot Dish will have shown a picture to these people of the person, the primary person that they need to tell to go into the vault to get the money while emphasizing everybody else keep their heads down and eyes closed. Most banks leave their safe open during the day, and we'll have looked into it to make sure that's the case this day. So they come in, make all this noise, and then when they're handed the cash, they run out of there. The bags of cash are going to be thrown in the Mississippi River as they drive along it, later to be scooped up by Hot Dish. They're going to meet Hot Dish at a predetermined meeting spot outside of town. If it all goes well, they get out of there before the cops get there, but it doesn't matter if they don't. You know why?
Why?
Hot Dish isn't going to be at that meeting spot, and those bags are going to sink to the bottom of the river. It was a diversion. By the time the police come and the actors realize that they've been fooled, I will have all the money. See, I am the one who handed them the money, but all they got was bags full of paper and a brick, so they'll just sink. I got a job at the bank months ago, and I've been watching how it all operates. And since I got the job, I've been coming in with an oversized hiking bag. At first, people thought it was weird, but I tell them it has sentimental value. And by now, they've just kind of gotten accustomed to it. Like, he's just got a big bag. It's fine.
Wait, so when you say a hiking bag, do you mean a hiking pack?
Like
Like one of those ones with like a back
like,
brace and everything?
no, I have one that I bought at Walmart that's huge, and it would be able to carry a lot of money. So, but yeah, basically it's just this big bag, and I have it stuffed full of just random stuff. So when they were in there, I was the person that they told to go into the vault and get the money. But while I was in there, I was just loading up my bag with all the money, and then I handed them pre-packed bags that I already had. So they have, and then I just walk out at the end of the day with my big bag full of money, and no one's any wiser. So foolproof, obviously. The average bank holds around $50,000. Do you have any questions?
Well, no, I was going to comment, like you said, foolproof. I was going to agree with you.
Yeah. The average bank holds around $50,000 in cash at any given time, but the bank that I'm looking at, it's a large city bank, so it hold over $200,000 generally. And I'm sure you're wondering, okay, you have all this money, how are you going to actually get it to spend it? See, here's the thing. I recently self-published a book, and you can buy it as an ebook. I make the book cheap and put $200,000 into purchases from different false PayPal accounts. So all of the money comes straight to me. And now, so now what happens is I have.
So then you pivot into crypto, right?
No, because I just sold a whole lot of copies of my brand new published book. And so what's that mean? New York Times bestseller. So now I've made so much money and publicity from being New York Times bestseller. I get TV deals. I sell my characters, the advertises. I sell more books, so that $200,000 is going to be turned into tens of millions of dollars. So now I have all the money. I wouldn't have to work at a desk. Clearly no more debt. I could certainly visit Ireland. I'm already a published author. And I'd have plenty of time to play with Warhammer figurines. So that was kind of what I was thinking I would do.
It's a good plan, Dan. Sounds well thought out. Did you actually publish your book?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
This is his future plan.
This is
Future plan.
Yeah, I'm looking into jobs at banks now.
Okay.
It's good to
Yes.
have this documented for future court proceedings.
Well, the names of the banks are different.
Boy,
Yeah.
well, you certainly put a lot of thought into it. I can't fault you there. Do you know how
Yeah.
much $500,000 weighs in $20 bills?
It'd be
How much?
$200,000 generally.
Oh, 200,000. Okay.
Probably a lot, yeah. There's probably some hundos in there though.
All right. If it's all in hundreds, it's 4 pounds, 6.5 ounces. If it's in 20s, it's 22 pounds. And then obviously doubling from there. So you could do it. I believe in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You can put it. You can do anything you put your mind to, Dan. I believe
What were we
that.
talking about? What was this episode about?
It was how to achieve my goals, and that was kind of what I had come up with. I thought that seemed like the easiest, and it's more of like I would probably be able to get there. I'd probably give myself like a 2-year time span. So, because we were talking about
Mhm.
like 5-year plans, and I thought I could probably get a job and be trusted at a bank, maybe like 6 months to a year.
That's
But you could just work at a job for or work at a bank for 2 years and get $200,000.
Like just steal it while I'm working.
You could just be employed.
Oh, well,
that's.
yeah, but I mean,
But if I mean, it's a plan. I worry that the actual implementation of it would be like more work than just working a normal job.
yeah, I think that the only real weak spot is these Russian actors,
Hmm.
um, because you're not sure how they're going to act on the day of, and also they might get shot. So,
Which would that just be kind of a bummer or more of an inconvenience?
well, I mean, it might. I mean, it would still probably, if they get shot in the bank where I am, that could be a problem.
Oh, we didn't specify that it had to be a legal plan for
We 100%
achieving
did
your
not, and it was, and I would say that it's a well thought out plan.
good thinking outside the box, I guess.
Yeah, uh, non-linear thinking. It's very good.
I do have my accomplice, and she did agree to do this, so
Excellent.
that's why I didn't use her real name.
Hot dish.
All right, we want to pivot back. I thought you were gonna end that thing in space somehow. It got increasingly more absurd. Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. Didn't know where it was going.
All right.
I think Mike wins.
I think I win too.
Yeah, you got a new job. I could
I
get a
did.
new job.
I did get a new
I mean,
job.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to start looking at bank positions.
Yeah.
It's real hard to
Cool.
come back from that.
It is. I'm trying to pivot back. There's like, and I'm trying to like look for any holes in your plan. Well, it's very distracting. Yeah, cool. All right, I'll be the winner.
Yeah, you win.
It's
Enjoy your
about
win
time.
now, because we're gonna be indicted soon or whatever for
Yeah.
accomplices to this crime.
I was gonna include you guys, but I thought I didn't really want to pull you into this because you got kids and stuff. So
That's true.
Yeah,
Well, you have a
I'm happy.
dog.
yeah, she'll be
True.
fine.
I'm happy running this get rich slow scheme.
All right. So last part here. Let's on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of us, do you think this is a worthwhile thing to do? And this, not robbing banks, but assessing your goals and making a plan. And I guess, I mean, it seems kind of straightforward. This is a 10 for me. I think this is something that you should probably do.
Yes, this is okay. This is a new thing we're doing where we're going to rank it from 1 to 10 if it's worth doing. Right? Is that what we
If we
said?
think
Yeah.
it's valuable for people to try out.
Or
for
if
themselves.
if this is a valid self-improvement thing.
Yes.
I think this is.
What could be more self-improving than thinking about your life and how you can improve it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
10.
kinda right. It's the crux
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
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 It's like
I mean, it might have been a bit of a cop out of his challenge, although I think it was worthwhile doing for me. But
I think that there is value in doing it. It is, again, it's being focused and specific about it, because you're always theoretically doing things that'll make your life better. But if you're not actively thinking about it, or like if you aren't doing it with intention, then you're kind of just drifting, right?
I don't know if that's universally true. I think a lot of people are doing things that are actively injuring their life.
it could,
That
yeah,
could
you
be
could be doing hard drugs, in a
robbing banks.
abandoned. It could be, well, I mean, as I clearly showed, that would improve my life significantly. But yeah, I mean, or you just be completely stagnant. But I mean, at the same time, some people are perfectly happy where they are, at least
Mhm.
as far as maybe if they hadn't. I mean, it could be damaging in the sense like I got it kind of brought me down when I was like, oh man, I could be doing a lot of other things than what I'm doing right now. But like, what if people are blissfully ignorant of how happy or unhappy they might be if they thought about it for a minute? But if they don't think about it, then they're happy. Is that a thing?
Yeah, blissful ignorance. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
guess.
mean, I guess there's danger in waking up,
Yeah.
opening your eyes.
Yeah, taking the red pill. Yeah,
Yeah. I was just gonna say that Neo coming out of the gross pod
the
thing that he was
the
in.
tube, the
That seemed
juice
like an
tube.
uncomfortable situation to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pros outweigh the cons on this one,
Well,
though.
I think
Yeah.
that's actually an apt analogy. Well, for many things in life, which is probably why that movie did so well. But waking yourself up. I think a lot of the stuff we've done, especially like the Future Corpse episode, this one, anything where it's kind of like, oh, hadn't thought about that before. There's always value in that. You should constantly be doing that and like assaulting yourself with cognitive dissonance in a way so that you can get used to it and figure stuff out. So that's
Yeah.
I
my
think
opinion.
it does sort of tie into, we are just awash in distractions these days. And I think that before the internet and before even like, the advent of everybody filling their time with TV and stuff, people used to talk about their prospects or their plans for their life. And some people still do that. But I think that it has become generally accepted that everybody's trajectory through life is, college or whatever, and then get a job and then stay at that job for 50 years and then retire, and, whatever. Like, being conscious and specific about what you want your life to look like, I think is valuable. So,
I would say though, on that point, like back in the day before all of the luxuries that we have that are distracting us, um, their lives were pretty bad. Our lives are like we live better than kings did back in the day in a lot of
yeah,
ways.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
it's like we're kind of already like I could just like coast along the rest of my life and be pretty comfortable without doing anything.
I would twist that on you though, and that, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I had taken them down, but I don't know where they went. But self-reporting, people are more depressed now than they've ever been.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
heard
people
that.
are more satisfied even when they were living hand to mouth, living off the dirt or whatever. Like, people, for whatever reason, were happier then than they are now.
Well, it's probably more akin to how humans are naturally meant to be, like evolutionary wise.
I think that's very true. We're meant to like a little bit of suffering is very good for us.
Well, yeah, it's
Mhm.
like the ice bucket thing where it's like
Yeah,
torture yourself for a second to realize that you're like alive instead of this
yeah.
numb contentness that we have.
Man, I got to
Yeah.
do that again. I love those ice baths. The polar plunge, which we did, I think we talked about that. That was a pretty great side note.
It's
Yeah. It was
cold.
a good time.
It
It
was real
was fun
cold.
though. It was a lot
It
of
was
fun.
fun.
We'll do it again next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. Okay. Yeah,
So are
you
we all
guys,
saying it's a 10?
it's a 10.
I'm not gonna say it's a 10. I wanna have something at the top end.
All
I'm
right.
like, this is the first time we've done it. I think I'm gonna go with an 8.
All right.
Okay.
That's a fair, Well, I think this is okay, hold on. Let me collect my thoughts here. I think this is probably the very much so like the how you start to do self-improvement. And we just kind of did it focused. So I think this is a 10, just kind of on a whole, in my opinion. I give it a 10.
Fair.
You know what? Travis convinced me. I'm gonna take it down because honestly, I feel like I improved my life a lot better. Um, because I think about this all the time. I did focus a little bit more on it this time, but clearly I got a little sidetracked. Um, but I think like the organization one, my life improved significantly just in those 2 weeks. So I'll come down to an 8 with you, I think.
All
All
right,
right.
that's fine.
Sounds good.
I think as an
What was the
as a whole, it's a 10. The concept is a 10, but as a practice, I'll give it an 8, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now presenting the Satisfinder, aka Little Seeky Boy, Mike Collins.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Travis. Thanks everybody for listening. Yeah, I think everybody should probably do this. That one book that we listened to, I think, was very beneficial. I know there's a lot of other ones out there as well, but I just think that the sitting and assessing what's important to you and then maybe aligning yourself in a direction that'll, bring you satisfaction is always a benefit. So I encourage everyone listening to do it.
And don't do crime.
Don't do crime.
Do crime is fine. You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
Here's Jack Spittoon with his melodious warbler. Don't stand too close and get your mustache stuck in it.
Also, next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
Let's try and learn how to be good whistlers, and we will just see who's the best at the end of 2 weeks.